Welcome, timekeepers. Thanks for stopping by the Myreda Minutes. For all that are new here, welcome. To all who have decided to join me on my journey, thank you, and welcome to the Timekeeper crew. Today, I want to talk about the Braxtons. We're going to recap episode 4, I believe it is. And I also want to talk about what Tamar dropped last night. She must have dropped it like at 12 midnight. And this is the mini movie that she had put out a trailer for last month. Honestly, my opinion, she didn't need a trailer for this. What she should have done was just dropped it. You know how Beyonce all of a sudden just puts her stuff out there and walks away and it blows up? That's all Tamar needed to do. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was good. I don't know who helped her put this together, but her body of work, as far as the songs that were included, I loved all of them. And I'm not one to like every song, but if this is a prelude to her album that she wants to drop, it's going to be bigger than Love and War. Bigger. Now, that's my opinion. I feel like some people don't care for Tamar because of the personality that sometimes overshadows her talent. Yeah, Tamar has a lot of antics with her. And I don't know if that's gimmick. I don't know if that's personality. I don't know what that is. But her talent is undeniable. And I can't take that away from her. She is good. She is good. Anyway, I say that to say this. Check her out. It is on her channel on YouTube. I think that's where she dropped it. You're going to enjoy it. Now, of course, with the whole story about Mendices and her seeing him or whatever, he was her love interest in the mini movie. Along with, unbeknownst to us, I didn't know, he actually is a cute guy, but you don't like him on Beauty and the Black, but he is the one that is the real butthole on Beauty and the Black. I can't remember what his name is. I don't remember what his character's name is, but it's the one that's always getting high. He's married to Mallory. What is his name? I don't know, but he is also a love interest in her movie. And she's torn between two men. And she says she loves both of them. But the way they tell the story, the way she interjects her songs in there, as in Brooke Ashley says, chef's kiss. I loved it. I loved the whole thing. I loved it. Very good, Tamar. I can't even take that away from her. Yeah, well, come on with the album because now we want to see it. Now we're ready. But again, you should have just dropped it and walked away, and we would have been wanting more. You didn't have to do all that other stuff. Now, granted, I know she said she had an accident. Some people are speculating whether it was true or not, whether it really happened. Then that whole thing that went down with her and Funky Dineva kind of like sidetracked everything. And I can see how, if her goal was for people to chime in and to want to see what was behind the scenes of all of that, because what's his name, Funky Dineva was being dragged through the mud about what people speculated was going on, it was actually taken away from her project. And now I can see both sides. I can see Tamar like, man, shut up. This is what's gotta happen before I roll this out, because she had planned on rolling it out September the 17th. And then here he is crying on this side because people are dragging him, talking about, what did you do to Tamar? Blah, 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 blah. And he couldn't handle it. So I could understand both sides, because he didn't want people having that image of him as well, knowing that he had been out with her the night before. And then all of a sudden she tells me she woke up in a pool of blood and blah, 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 blah. I honestly thought, watching this mini movie, that we were going to see, and maybe they cut it out, I don't know, but we were going to see Mendices because evidently she broke Mendices' heart, but he got a little volatile with her, but not to the point where he beat her up, but he was like getting a little physical. And I said, maybe this is where she was saying she woke up in a pool, but they didn't go there with it. So I don't know. Maybe if that really happened, I guess. I guess. Because honestly, her mom and her still have a cooking show that they bring on YouTube, and her mom was fixing yakami. We call it yakami. I think they call it yak on TikTok or whatever, but we call it yakami in this area. And they were creating their version of it. And Tamar said, I can't eat shrimp. I can't eat that just because I eat the noodles. She don't eat soft stuff. So evidently she did have some work done. Now, whether she fell and had the work done and all her teeth came out and she had the work done, that's one thing. But she could have just had work done and couldn't eat. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyway, y'all, hands down, this is good. On a scale of 1 to 10, it is an 11. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy it too. Check it out. Now, let's get into the recap for the Braxtons. This is episode 4, season 2. Let's get into it. Again, they start at this dinner scene with all the ladies. And like I said, each and every time we come to this scene, a little bit more comes out. More information is divulged so we can kind of get some context as to what they're talking about. Now, I'm going to have to go back because I thought that Tamar was talking about her brother sending her a cease and desist. But she was actually talking about the lawyer sending her a cease and desist. At least that's what I'm gathering. She was like, how did the lawyer find my address? It's not even, the house isn't even in my name. So how did he find me type thing? Somebody walked this up to my door. And she's blaming all of her sisters because they did not have her back. Because again, she feels like they're trying to ruin her business. She brought Ashley on there. Not so much to help Ashley, it sounds like to me, but to enrich her own self. That's what I'm getting. Not saying she don't care for her niece. Not saying she. I can't say what people feel and think. But what she's saying in this moment is that her show was put at risk for not being able to profit because of this cease and desist, because of the content that she had acquired interviewing her niece. That's what I got. What did y'all get? So then again, it comes out even a little bit more about her giving Tawanda money to put on the house. And it comes out now that Tamar said she gave her $50,000. Tawanda said it was only 35. Tamar explains that Tawanda said she only needed it for like show money because the lender wanted to see the money sitting in her account. So she said she was going to send it, put it in the account, and then give it back to her because she was supposed to be getting a check. But she never paid her back. And she said Tawanda wrote her down as a lender, I guess, when she filed her bankruptcy or whatever. So she didn't have to pay her back. I don't know. I didn't think they worked like that. But anyway, she said it wasn't a gift. She said it was a loan and she was supposed to give it back to me like the next day or something like that. So Tawanda doesn't deny it. She said, yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, you did. Tawanda said this happened back in 2018. Was she with Sean then? I guess so. I don't know. But she said if she had known what she knows now, she probably wouldn't have taken the money because Tamar's a lot. And I'm paraphrasing, but she didn't say that. But basically, that's what she said. Because in her confessional, she was like, no, I'm good. So they move on to talk about who screwed who. Tamar's adamant that Tawanda is the one that laid down with whoever Tony's boyfriend was. She's saying that's a lie. And Tamar's like, well, who do you think, you think I did it? Who you think I did it or whatever? And so then I'm probably all over the place because that's how the conversation seems to go in this scene. And each time I'm trying to listen to each one of them say something. I did pick up on Tony saying that she didn't have any more money to pay any publicists to help Tamar. And Tamar says, I don't know why you saying all that. I don't need your publicist. I got my own publicist. And she's like, whatever, whatever, whatever. I mean, they were all over the place. And then Tamar was talking about how nobody had her back. Trina's like, you are a whole grown woman. It wasn't for me to say anything. You got the cease and desist. You know who sent it to you. The name is on there. You will not see my name. So again, I'm looking at her brother only because her brother is the one that sent her a cease and desist. A cease and desist. I get them mixed up too. Sent that order to his own daughter. So I figured he sent them out to everybody. He sent it to his daughter, who went on her show, and he sent it to Tamar. I'm still saying it was the brother that sent it to her. Point blank, period. And the sisters know about it. So then she goes and she's like, well, the only reason why she did it was because it was Tony's idea to bring her on the show. And Tony's like, I said that. But in Tony's confessional, she said it. She said, but she didn't mean it, or she didn't mean it literally. I don't know. But she said, evidently, when she said what she said, that we should bring her on the Braxton so we can all talk about it. She said she didn't think that Tamar was taking her literally. Well, why wouldn't she if you said it? That makes no sense. Help me out with that, y'all. Anyway, so then they go back and forth, and she was like, I didn't sleep with so and so. This hoe right here, blah, 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 did whatever. She's talking to Tawanda, and then she looks back at Tony as if to say, so what you think I slept with so and so too? And I'm thinking she's thinking or saying, maybe you think I slept with Birdman. I'm speculating. I ain't seen nothing. They blurred it out. They beeped it out. We don't know what she said, but that's what it seemed like she might have said. That's when Tony jumps up, act like she's going to move. She done shook the table, right? So she pushes the table out of the way, gets in Tamar's face. Tamar's in her face. And then they talk about, well, before they get up, I think they talk about how we're not even going to entertain Tamar. Let her just go on about her business. But I think that's how they've always handled Tamar since she was a little girl. Like, just let her do her. Don't do it. Don't engage. Because Tawanda was like, I don't argue with sick people. So why she say that? Because Tamar was like, don't mess with my mental health. She said, because for real, all y'all need the pills. So evidently Tamar's on something, because she has a little something going on, but they make your best entertainers, the truth be told. That's what I've been told. Anyway, I'm sorry I'm out of order, y'all, but I'm trying to grasp the conversation because the conversation is all over the place, and unless you look at it like a half a dozen times, you don't pick up on anything because everybody's talking over each other. They're yelling and screaming, and Tamar is the loudest. Anyway, once I guess Tony has reached her breaking point, she jumps up like she's going to do something to Tamar, and Tamar's like, what? What are you going to do? So Trina gets in the middle of them trying to break them up, and Tamar seems to think that she's pushing her or pulling on her, whatever, and she's pulls on Trina's hair, and she was like, stop. She moves Trina out the way. She was like, don't hit me or don't touch me or whatever. And she said, I didn't touch you. She said, I was trying, and she in her confessional says, I was trying to get in between Tamar and Tony because that's like a Rottweiler going after a Yorkie. But the Yorkie wasn't backing down. She wasn't scared. So I would have been like, you go for it, Tony Bot. But anyway, so they fussing back and forth, and Tamar gets so extra. She was like, y'all are jealous. Y'all some jealous bees. Look at me. And then she pats herself on her liquid behind. I'm assuming this is after she got her liquid butt lift or whatever. And she said, look, this is 48. And I'm like, I had to laugh at that because I was like, girl, just go. Just go. And that was the scene. Now, again, I don't know how many more episodes we got. But this scene, they keep divulging more and more and more each and every time. And I guess by the end of it all, we will get the whole entire conversation and we'll be able to put two and two together. Because right now, it's still a little wonky, still a lot of editing involved because they keep jumping from scene, from conversation to conversation. That's why I feel like I'm all over the place. And forgive me. Anyway. So the next scene is, well, it flips back and forth between Tawanda and her bridal shower. It's not really a bridal shower. It's a pre-bridal shower. They're actually at a bridal shop because some of the girls need to get measured for their final fitting or something like that. So she has met the girls at this bridal shop and she talks about their bridesmaids dresses, which again are simply gorgeous. I don't know if you all have seen them, but they are simply gorgeous. They are chocolate. They look like they have lace up at the top. Well, she said it was a romper skirt type situation, and it looks like it may be a lace bodysuit underneath. I didn't see it all the way through, but then she has a wraparound chocolate skirt. Very pretty. Very pretty. I liked it. That was good. I liked her wedding too. It was like all of them have, I guess, a talent in their own right. But this chaos and stuff that they do, being over the top, kind of overshadows everything. But anyway, she talks about Tony and everyone showing up for her bridal shower tonight because her bridal shower is a Bridgerton theme, which is cute. They all dress up like, I guess is that the 1800s? I don't know. England queen and, the girls talk about they do have their dresses ready and they're ready to go for their bridal shower. Anyway, as she's sitting there, she's hoping that Tony is going to show up for her bridal shower and she tells her that she can't. And she says, that makes me sad. So I think what's making her sad, and again, they don't show the whole entire conversation. I want to say she discloses to them that Angie Stone passed away. I think that's why Trina was crying. I thought she was crying because Tony couldn't make it, because Tony don't make it to a lot of things, right? So I'm assuming that's what she was talking about when Angie Stone died. And that was around March of this year, I want to say. She passed away. Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Now D'Angelo has followed behind her this same year. And they had a son together. He lost both of his parents in the same year. Ugh. I hate that for him. She tells them she's not gonna be able to make it. But so there's that. Then they switch back and forth. Because Tony is in Miami. She's doing the sound check or whatever for her, getting ready for this jazz festival that's down there, and she's trying to work out the mic situation and how the stage is, and she's down there on the ground walking to see what's what. And when they flip back to Tawanda, it seems as though the way Tony's schedule is set up, she has her jazz festival, I think it's the day after Tawanda's wedding. And Tawanda wants to know why she didn't block out that whole time, that whole week before. She said when her stuff was scheduled 8 months ago. Well, that should tell you a lot because like I said in the last video, I don't think Tony really likes hanging around her sisters like that. Not saying she don't love them because you can love your family from afar. But she doesn't really like to be around them like that. Anyway, so they flip back and forth between the two scenes. And then now it is, they go to Tamar. Tamar is filming, I guess, for her content because of the album that she's about to drop. Mind you, she's driving up it looks like a Ferrari, I think. And she's trying to get out real sexy like, and she can't do it with the top down because she's got to crunch down and she's got like a half shirt. Well, she's got her new tatas. Well, they're peeking out. So she's having like wardrobe malfunctions and trying to make sure they're covered up. And He's like, they went, oh, no, your boobs and nipples showing. And she's like, I can't feel them. So they take a couple of shots of that. But this is the guy I think that's helping her put what she dropped today together. I'm assuming. But this is for her new album. And they have a scene where she's talking to OG, which is the producer for the show. And I'm assuming he wants the sisters to film together. I think he's trying to convince her to go to the wedding or whatever. And she's like, no, she doesn't want to go. Tawanda's basically been asked the same question. Do you want Tamar to come to the wedding or bridal shower? And she was like, she didn't say that she didn't want her sister there. How she phrased it was, I don't want any negativity in front of me, behind me, around me, in my space. Period. So she didn't say no, but you get it. So there's that. So the next scene is that they're getting ready to get dressed for the bridal shower, the Bridgerton situation, she calls it. And she's getting her makeup done. And she brings up Tracy. And she's saying, I wish Tracy was here. It's kind of like of a hole without Tracy being here. She says she just would like for Tracy just to come out around the corner and say something crazy. Or Tracy stuff. And she says she would have really been into it. She would have been all out. Bridgerton, she would have did her, she would have just really gotten into the whole theme of the thing. And she misses that. So they ask her, is Tamar coming? She didn't say anything. She's just silent. She doesn't say anything she doesn't respond. She's just sitting there. She's eating somebody fixed her some bacon. She's eating her bacon. She's not saying anything. So she just says, can somebody just pop the champagne? That was the next thing out of her mouth. She didn't even comment on anybody asking her about her sister Tamar. Yeah. So she comes upstairs. She gets dressed. She got her makeup done. They're helping her put her dress on, helping her put her wig on, and then she's out the door. Now, mind you, she gets there and most of her ladies of honor are not there, and they're like 45 minutes late. And they were supposed to get there to help her mom set up things and make sure things were ready. Last minute things were taken care of, like I guess the food and whatever was needed to be set out. As she's out in the back talking to one of the other ladies of honor, you see Trina come up with her wide dress on. It was a great idea. It's all cute. You know what I mean? It was, again, this was all thought out. She said the date for her wedding had been 8 months. I feel like she started way before that with all of this, but maybe she had those thoughts in mind about what she wanted to do and she just executed them. But everything was thought out. But it goes off with her talking to her lady of honor in the back. She's supposed to find out why people are late and she's going to get on it. And meanwhile, Trina's in the house. She doesn't even know Trina's there yet, but it says to be continued. I don't know. I like the Braxtons. I like this season only because I really wish that they focus more on Ashley. And I know that they couldn't. They probably did. But because everybody probably got a cease and desist, they probably had to cut some of that stuff out. But I really would have loved to have embarked on that storyline than them just fighting and stuff going on. My opinion. Anyway, y'all, let's get in the comments. Let's talk about it. Tell me what you think. And I'll see you next time. Bye, timekeepers. Everyone be blessed. Peace.